Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the Amazon Coding Challenge so you know what's coming and how to navigate it from start to finish. Your coding challenge will have two sections. First, you'll get a coding question, where you'll solve the problem by writing code in a single file in Editor. After you complete the first question, you'll move on to a code repository question. Here, you'll be working in an IDE similar to VS Code, with multiple files to respond to issues regarding a simulated application, like a banking or an e-commerce app. Before you start the coding challenge, you'll choose the framework for your code repository question. Choose the framework you're most familiar with, based on the available options. You can change your selection for the code repository question before beginning the coding challenge, but once you click Start Test, you'll be unable to modify your choice. For the coding question, you can still choose the programming language you prefer after the test starts. Prior to starting the test, we've put together a sample test for you. It's optional, but we strongly recommend to further familiarize yourself with the coding challenge environment and question types. You can take this as many times as you want. Now let's take a look at the experience once you start the test. Once you enter the coding environment, you'll first encounter the problem statement on the left side and your coding editor in the center. Pick your language from the drop-down, write your solution, and run the test to check your work. You can run all the tests at once or just a single test case if you want to focus on one scenario. And if you want more space, you can collapse the question panel so that your editor has more space. Once completed, you can move to your next section with the code repository question. Please note that you can't come back to your previous section once you've moved to the next section with the code repository question. Now in the next section, you'll encounter the code repository question, simulating real-world development. The environment is set up based on the framework that you selected prior to starting the coding challenge. Your screen will have a file explorer in the top left, so you can easily jump between different files in the project. There's a terminal for running commands, and a preview panel so you can see the application as it runs. The task might be something like fixing a bug in the checkout process of a banking application or an e-commerce site. You'll also see Run at the top right. It builds and runs the application so you can preview it and track your progress. When you've completed coding and satisfied the requirements per the problem statement, use Run Tests from the Run dropdown to check your changes. And if you need to reset the project, you can do that from the question mark icon at the top right of the page. For the code repository question, you'll have access to an AI assistant, which is located on the right panel next to the preview. You can use the AI assistant in the code repository to help guide your work. For example, you could ask it, "Can you walk me through what the checkout feature does?" Or, "Can you explain the problem statement to me?" It can also help you understand large code files if you tag the file in your request, and it can give you syntax examples. Once you're happy with your solution, you can go ahead and submit the test. Now that we've walked through the platform, here's a recap. Your test includes a coding question and a code repository question. Choose your code repository framework before you start and your coding language when you get to that section. For your code repo section, explore the environment, use the AI assistant, and don't forget to try the sample test. It's the easiest way to feel comfortable before you begin. Good luck with your coding challenge.